The Bad Boys Podcast brought to you by Man Up Down Under, high-performing underwear that cups your junk like the soft hands of an angel. Visit manupdownunder.com.au.
Today on the show, we talk about some shit our wives say.
The biggest bogan doctor, Dr. Phil, is in hot water.
And we meet the real Walter White, and he has a vagina.
All that and more on the Bad Boys Podcast. If you want the hard-hitting journalism of Four Corners, the reliable current affairs of, well, a current affair, and the planning that goes into classy shows like The Project, then you've tuned into the wrong podcast. It's comedy, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and news stories that makes Fox News sound like an episode of The Muppets. Or maybe it's the other way around. Conversations no one wants to have, but everyone wants to hear. This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome to the Bad Boys Podcast. I'm sitting here and there's like this giant fly that's flying around. I mean, honestly, this thing, I'm pretty sure it's got landing wheels and its own tarmac. Is that big?
It's got to be Russian, mate. It's got to be Russian. Anything that's really big, that flies that really shouldn't fly, is Russian.
No, you know what? Since coming to Tasmania, I've noticed everything is really big. I think it makes up for the fact that the island is so small. But like, you know, bumblebees, they're the biggest fucking bumblebees I've ever seen in my life. Like, and they sort of fly around or hover around and they're so slow.
Right, you're right. Yeah, you're sitting back thinking, how are you staying in the air, buddy?
I know, right? Your wings are like these tiny little things. Just crazy. And so, like, these big flies, like, you hear them. They're like drones. And you think,
right,
is it the government? Are they, like, you know, checking us out? What have I said? What am I doing?
You know what? And talking about...
Quick, hide the drugs.
Talking about big things as well that really shouldn't be around.
Yeah.
Have you heard that the next Jurassic Park movie, in fact, the last Jurassic Park movie is coming out? Jurassic World Dominion?
I know. I have a problem with that. I really do.
Yeah?
Like, let's bring everybody back. Let's milk it one last time.
Yeah, look, I actually saw the short to this one and I actually kind of liked it, and I sat back and I even had the thought, believe it or not, I know this is going to shock everybody listening, I even had the thought, I might go and see it at the movies.
Oh, jeez.
I know, that's pretty tragic, isn't it? Pretty crazy stuff. But talking about, so big things, since moving to Tasmania, you're noticing that everything down there is big.
Yeah. Well, not everything.
Is that why your wife wanted you to move down to Tasmania? She needed something to be just a little bit bigger?
No. Sorry. Rather disappointed in that department. No, I just feel I just think that maybe they're making up for the, you know, for the lack of size of the island. You know, I mean, look, it never gets as big as things in Darwin. Let's be honest. I mean, everything in Darwin is big. The stubby, you know, right? Like,
yep.
Even I even heard a story that a mosquito landed on the Darwin tarmac and they filled it up with fuel before they realised that it was a mosquito and not a plane. I mean, that's how big they are. But I don't know. Big. You know, alligators are big. Oh, sorry, crocodiles are big. Did I just say alligators?
You did say alligators. Fuck me. Like alligators are the pussy American of the crocodile world. They really are. They are pathetic, not even remotely grumpy. It's like, you know, I'm a reptile, but I really don't want to be. I actually identify more as a sloth.
I met this guy in Northern Territory that wrestled them. They have the Johnson...
Crocodiles.
No. They have Johnson River alligators, they're called, in Northern Territory.
I could wrestle a bloody alligator. Alligators literally are the pussycats of the animal world.
You could wrestle an alligator.
I reckon I could wrestle an alligator. I wouldn't wrestle a salty.
Seriously.
Those salties are salty and they're grumpy as fuck, and you don't want to go anywhere near them. Unless you're Hawaii, of course, and they're importing 173 of them over there to keep the beaches clean because, of course, there's no records anywhere in the world of a shark attack appearing or are occurring on a beach that has saltwater crocodiles, so they're importing them all over there. But alligators, God, it's like the American bald eagle. I'm sorry to all the Americans listening to the show, but your eagle's pathetic. Your eagle hunts mice, and you guys celebrate it. We have the wedge-tailed eagle over here that takes down kangaroos, takes down small cattle. You know, and if you're stupid enough to be walking around in a paddock at night on your own, they'll probably take you down as well.
Well, actually,
even our cute little koala bears will drop out of the trees and take you out.
Speaking of big birds, so I went with Reef to see the latest Jackass movie.
Right. I'm thinking of going to see it with my boys this weekend.
Yes, it's definitely worth seeing. There's one scene where this guy is strapped down, and they're in a cemetery for just for effect. There's one guy, the dwarf guy that's in Jackass. He's in every single one.
Yeah,
so he was strapped down, tied down, just in his jocks, and they shoved meat just in his jocks, just poking out, and then they let loose a vulture. Now.
Fuck me.
This vulture was the biggest bird I have ever seen in my life.
They are big.
And
they are pretty damn big.
Hopping around, and he starts to peck at the meat. Oh my God!
Jumping,
like this poor little guy, he nearly lost everything.
But then again, look, hold on. A vulture is an American bird.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you'd be inviting it over for a cuddle. If they really wanted to do it properly, they need to get a big wedge-tailed eagle in there too. And that thing would literally tear the meat from his bones.
It was a pretty big bird.
Yeah,
but look, if you want a good laugh, you will see lots of penises. Just letting you know now. And it was a very funny show. They brought back some of the old gags that they used to do as well.
Nice.
And yeah, they haven't lost their touch. I mean, these guys are so old now. I mean,
they're dads now, aren't they?
They are.
They'll be
years
dads
down the track. Yeah. Hey, someone who is old and who's in a lot of hot water. He's been around for a long time. Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, fuck, I can't believe that guy's mustache is still going.
Yeah.
He's he's got to wake up every morning and stuff like that and feed that thing like a bowl of milk.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So he has been on air for 20 years, and finally, after 20 years, he's in trouble. He's in hot water, right?
What is he in hot? What has he been touching some of the girls in the studio, or
no? Apparently, he's having outbursts at lower level employees, calling them idiots, stupids, and retards.
Right. Okay.
Now,
so in a lot of industries, you get promoted for that. So why is he getting cancelled for it?
This is the funny thing, right? Because all he's doing is just repeating the words that he usually hears on his show by his guests, because his guests are pretty special.
Yeah. Look, I got to say, if I was ever going to have a job in the world, I would love to be the talent scout for Dr. Phil, which would involve effectively trawling through trailer parks all over the Central America, looking for people that basically are dodgy as fuck. Usually someone who slept with their uncle's catamaran, and get them on the show to talk about how weird they are.
Yeah, it's almost like
it's some pretty funny stuff. I mean, it's up there. I reckon Jerry Springer and stuff like that.
My uncle's sister's brother's third cousin's nephew.
Right. We need to get ScoMo on Dr. Phil.
He'd take it out.
Yeah, I think we need to get him on there, talk about his obsessive compulsive lying and his lack of empathy and his need to check in with his wife on everything.
The problem is he would never admit his lying. He would be always like, no, I don't lie.
Narcissists can't. They think because they say it, it's true, and therefore it's not a lie.
Yeah. So I mean, like, are we going to have a decent go at an election this year, or is it going to be just another farce?
Look, I've got a confession to make.
Yeah. Live
on air.
You don't vote?
I haven't voted in the last two federal elections properly.
Did you get fined?
No. I turned up.
Oh.
I grabbed the ballots and I put 2 big lines across them and I wrote no suitable candidates.
Oh, well, you didn't even vote for the Free Marijuana Party?
No, I didn't. But look, see, this is the interesting thing. So I was raised in a liberal household, right? And, not that we were told how to vote. My parents wouldn't do that. But my thoughts as I grew up aligned with the liberal viewpoint. The problem is over the last 10 to 15 years, the liberal viewpoint has basically developed into a prick fest. They are a bunch of misogynistic fuckwits. Yeah. And I just can't, for the life of me, vote for them. I just, I can't. So the problem is, who do I vote for then? A lot of the Labor representatives on the New South Wales South Coast, both state or federal, are a bunch of morons. Okay, we've got the Greens, and look, I like a lot of what the Greens say, but the problem is if you put the Greens into power, you're going to end up with an economy that's down the toilet, and Greens would never get into power because they wouldn't get enough votes to actually get anywhere, and their votes would then go to Liberal or to Labor, who I didn't want to vote for.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever their preference is, yeah.
Right. So look, the long and short of it is I just sort of sit back and go, I just don't know who to vote for. I genuinely don't know who to vote for. ScoMo has absolutely no policies, never has had, never will have. Don't even know who the Labor counter leader is. Some guy called Anal, I think, something like that. I just, and look, I'm a big fan of Anal, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to vote for it. Really, that's just fucked up. So, what do you do? And we got a by-election down here this weekend, and I'm going to have to go to the polling booth, sit there with my dick in my hand, trying to figure out how to fold a paper 46 different ways.
I think Tanya had the right idea. So I think she had the right idea. In the last election, she voted for this guy that he had a pretty good mustache.
Nice, go with the mustache.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of voting for Donald Trump.
Oh, really?
Creating an extra box, write Donald Trump next to it and give it a tick.
Oh, because that would work, yeah.
Well,
I'll just make my own box. Thanks very much.
Look, I reckon Donald Trump could bloody, mix it up a little bit. And I think he'd be perfect for the Liberals because he's a bit of a misogynistic, grab him by the pussy kind of twit as well.
It fit right in.
Right, absolutely.
Right. I don't know why him and ScoMo aren't best buddies.
No, right. I agree. I completely agree. So, okay, Dr. Phil. So Dr. Phil's been slagging off about the hired help, basically calling them a bunch of dickheads.
Yeah. And it's not the first one either. I mean, what's with these daytime celebrities?
Right. Ellen had the big fall
had the
from
same
grace.
problem. Yep. It's like, you know what?
There were rumours about, the God-hailed angel of Oprah as well.
And if these guys are out there helping, working for these crazy daytime celebrities to put some time and effort in and help build them up, why should they be called idiots or retards?
Look, any person who works in a business and had to hire the latest, youngest generation to do work and stuff like that, they'll know that really the world's fucked. Like, quite simply. I mean, we throw mud at the likes of Donald Trump and, Biden, who shits himself in front of the Pope, as the leaders that are destroying things. But the simple fact of the matter is that there's no work ethic in the younger generation.
No.
God, I sound like an old man, don't I?
You do. You sound so old.
Far out. Is it time to start drinking yet?
I think it's getting close to that, yeah. So how are you going with your bamboo undies from Man Up Down Under?
I'm loving them, mate. I'm absolutely loving them. And I bought a bunch for my 3 lads as well, and they're loving them too because they're all in the latter years of school. Yeah. And they're just going and they're saying they are as comfortable as anything all day, and I completely agree.
Yeah.
And look, a big added bonus and stuff like that whenever I'm strutting around the house, because I work from home most of the time, so I don't need pants. So I strut around the house in my Man Up Down Under undies most of the time. My wife has actually started smacking my ass as she goes past. She thinks they're pretty hot stuff.
I get my ass smacked for completely different reasons.
You're scooting across the floor with your pants off. Yep, I get it.
Yeah, Old habits die hard.
I'm loving these things. Again, I can get out of the garden and just go hell for leather all day and stuff like that, and I generally feel like I'm riding commando. These things are so soft and they're so gentle.
Yeah, they're super comfortable. Absolutely love them. Make sure you head over to their website, which is manupdownunder.com.au, and grab yourself, not one, grab yourself a week's supply.
Yeah. You will not regret it, I'm telling you right now. And if you've got a bunch of boys in the house, teenage boys and stuff like that, grab them a whole bunch as well. You can buy them all in different colours, so everybody's got different colours. So when you're doing all of the laundry and stuff like that, you know, this guy's blue, this guy's green, this guy's yellow, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So big shout out to Man Up Down Under, supporting the bad boys in more than one way.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like that? Well,
that's nice. I like that. That's really good, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome back to Bad Boys Podcast. And so, I want to talk about teachers for a minute.
Yeah,
because, you know, there's some good teachers out there, but there's some dodgy teachers out there as well. And I've got to say, there's some legendary teachers as well. Now, we all know Walter White, right?
Who doesn't love Walter White and Jesse Pinkman? Of course, Walter White is the ultimate science teacher that everybody wants to have.
Yes. Well, Australia has its very own Walter White. She wasn't mixing the meth. She was actually just selling cannabis to the students, right? So this is a Sydney science teacher. It's always the science teachers. What's with that?
Oh, look, you know what it is? They're the ones who know how to do it properly because, you know, cooking good drugs. Now, whether you're making a nice big bowl of mole or whether you're getting more into the meth or the crack or the cocaine or whatever like this, it's all science. It's all science and chemicals and stuff in the way it's prepared. And a good science teacher, right, knows how to do it properly without needing all of the nasty shit that really scatters your head.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so she has been, so this is a Lauren Russell, 42, was arrested last Friday, which was actually the Friday before because we're recording this last week. And she was actually just known to the locals as a loving wife who was often seen outside playing with her kids on the street. Of course, what they didn't realise was that while she was playing with the kids on the street, she was also selling to the kids down the road.
Yeah, nice. And look, she's a bit of a cutie too, I've got to say. Science teachers to me were never as cute as she was. Science teachers to me were all crusty fucking old guys who couldn't cut it in the real world.
Yeah, so like, you know, Walter White style, no more. No, this is reminds me of that there was a show, there was like a comedy show where the mother was just the average everyday mother and she was selling
Weeds. That's right, with Lorelei, whatever her name was. Yeah, that's right. I actually couldn't handle that because the lead lady in that one just actually annoyed the fuck out of me. So she was just one of those annoying people. Just a chemistry thing. We never really got on. But she...
we never really got on because you knew her so well.
We never met either, but that's not the point. But yes, you're right. It's very similar, isn't it? So this woman was obviously making a bit of extra coin on the side. And look, my hat goes off to her.
Yeah.
She didn't have to sleep with the students for it. And
everyone was saying how she was such a lovely person and this is so out of character. But you're not going to be walking around going, hey, look at me, I'm a drug dealer, you know? You're going to have a bit of a persona, aren't you?
Hold on a second. Isn't that a real slight against dope dealers? Like, are dope dealers all pricks? Are they really nasty people?
No, they're nice people.
Why can't a dope dealer be a really nice, lovely lady?
Exactly. Why can't they?
I mean, all she's doing is improving people's day, giving people an opportunity to have a good laugh, usually at the expense of absolutely nothing. And, you know, she's putting a smile on people's faces. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and like you said, she's not sleeping with the students. She's just selling the marijuana. Right. And
that's exactly right. I mean, unlike the other teacher who was sleeping with the student.
Yeah, exactly. And wearing sort of, you know, like clothes out to a nightclub that you know, made – like what is with that? I mean, seriously, if you're a teacher, right, and you see
you're teaching
kids that are underage – Right.
Let's put it on the table. You can't tell me that there wasn't a teacher or two as you were growing up that you didn't kind of think, wow, she's gone hot stuff.
I made my teacher cry.
Because you had sex with her, or?
No. And not because I didn't. Well, it was kind of sad, really. I was an innocent student. I didn't know. She'd broken up with her fiancé.
Right.
And I just innocently noticed, because I'm such a, I notice a lot of things. Not really. I usually walk around with blinkers on, wouldn't have a freaking clue what's going on. This day I just happened to notice that she didn't have her ring on.
Yeah, right.
And I innocently said, "Oh, miss, where's your wedding ring? Or where's your engagement ring?"
See, that's one of those questions that are up there with, Miss, are you pregnant?
Yeah.
Or, Miss, did you drop your razor? Did you lose your razor?
Well, I asked the question. It just came out. And the next minute, she just burst into tears and ran out of the room. So we waited 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes everyone said, "Awesome, Shane, you got us out of the class." And
nice.
we just left. Yeah.
You were the hero of the day.
I was the hero of the day. But yeah, that was about as exciting as our teachers. Although there was a bunch of students that were caught growing marijuana in the actual green room, like the ag students.
Yeah. And look, I think that's a bit of a rumour that goes around most schools and stuff. We had the same as well in a couple of the different schools that I attended over my latter years. But look, there was this lady at one of the schools, I think in Ireland or something like that, and she, there was the school formal. She was wearing what looked like a handkerchief, and she was dancing with all the boys at the thing, and then she went out after to nightclubs with them and got drunk with them and stuff, and ended up by shagging the back out of one of them. So
right.
He must have thought he'd bloody won Christmas. Of course, she's now lost a job, and I think she's a yoga instructor in WA now.
As they would be, as
right.
she would be after. But no,
that's a likely career progression.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But no, there was actually a teacher, a similar situation in America where she ended up marrying the boy, and there was nothing they could do about it.
I think she went to jail, and when she came out, they got married or something like that as well, and they're still quite happily together.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of think to yourself, well, okay, I know it's bad, and you can't condone it, but life's pretty funny, right?
Yeah, look, see, this is where these whole grey areas appear, because there's so much dodgy shit that actually goes on. However, I think in some circumstances, young males tried on. I think they tried on with their sexy teacher, and they trying to figure out, let's see how far we can go without actually understanding the consequences, probably not even fully understanding the decision. But nobody's telling me that a 16, 17-year-old boy who ends up in bed with his female teacher, doesn't really understand what's going on.
They're thinking about one thing.
Right.
One thing only. That's it.
Yeah. Look, having said that, the teachers are in a point of authority. They do have like an authoritarian sort of control over the children, one would like to think. And, of course, they shouldn't be taking advantage of the situation. And if the roles were reversed, if it was a male teenager and a female girl, we'd be up in arms about it as well, because that's just completely fucked up. So, look,
I know we joke. It's a tough
about
one.
It, but
it's a tough one. But then you got this teacher that's actually just selling the odd joint. I mean, different story,
right?
Slightly different story.
At least she knows that they're getting quality product.
That's
not
right.
Laced with, dishwashing liquid and, Ajax and stuff.
Yeah, I know, and it's a sad situation when you hear about the stories, especially on the Gold Coast, massive on the Gold Coast, where there is, even mums, just mum who's at home and looking for an extra income is selling starter packs of ice to kids.
Yeah, that's right.
That shit's messed up.
Never forget the day I was going to Macca's in Gungahlin in Canberra. Turned the corner, saw as I turned a particular corner, there was a car parked on the side of the road and the doors were open and stuff. And I thought, I wonder what those two are up to. It just looked odd, Commodore, Went to Macca's drive-through, grabbed my food, came in and ended up by parking behind them. Because you know how sometimes when you get drive-through, you actually leave the grounds of Macca's and you go and park in a street somewhere just so you can have your food and stuff like that, and then you go about your way. I'm parking behind them and I'm sitting there going, why is that guy lying there beside his car? And then just as I'm thinking that, his missus falls out of the back seat onto the sidewalk, onto the,
what?
This actually, it was the top of a drain. And I'm thinking, fuck, she's just fallen out of the car. That's funny. That was my first thought.
That happens every day.
And I'm thinking, hold on a second, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
One too many Big Macs, I reckon.
Right. Hey, it's 12 o'clock in Fiji, each to their own. And I think it was a Thursday or a Friday. So who doesn't want a fucking drink by lunchtime on a Friday? I know I sure as hell do. Anyway, I'm sitting there thinking, nah, something's not quite right. So, okay, I had to sacrifice my Big Mac.
Yeah.
Which was then about to go cold. And I went over to find them, and he was our cold, frothing at the mouth with a bloody, like a tight thing around his arm.
Jesus.
One of those, those rubbers that they use on diving spear guns and stuff,
Yeah.
And she was well on her way to being to thing. Anyway, I called the ambulance. Ambulance came out and stuff like that because he was ODing off his nut. And then soon after they had arrived, she started really going off, as in ODing and stuff like that. And they rushed them both off to hospital and stuff like that.
Wow. The moral of the story is that, McDonald's cheeseburgers and heroin just don't mix.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah. You need to, I mean, everybody knows that stuff at McDonald's isn't good for you.
So what was it that made them froth at the mouth? Was it the McDonald's burger or was it the...
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that whatever the chemicals were in the chips that keep the chips, looking like chips for the next 46 years, I think that reacted with whatever chemicals were in their heroin. So
yeah, it's always a bit of a worry when you see a green one of those, a green chip, and you go, okay, if these chips are supposed to last as long as they do, why is one of them green? Right, is that going to give you an extra long? Yeah,
just crazy. Crazy. So we'll go. Look, okay. So the teachers selling a little bit of dope on the side. Maybe if they paid teachers properly, we wouldn't have this issue.
Right, eh? Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And look, maybe if they paid strippers properly, more cute teachers wouldn't be around confusing everybody.
Are you saying that there may be a bit of a crossover happening there?
Oh, look, if the cute teacher's selling drugs to the kids and stuff like that, I'm just saying, maybe she could make a few dollars as a stripper or something.
Exactly right. Yeah. See, choose a better profession, a more respectful profession.
Right.
Like
don't ever tell me that I don't provide a community service here. I mean, really, if that's not a community service, I just don't know. Maybe I should go into helping people find employment. Have you got a head on you like a half-chewed minty? Right. No strip club for you and stuff. You can go and work at the post office.
There you go. Just take a listen to Uncle Andrew's advice.
Right.
Don't do drugs, kids. This is what happens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't do drugs, otherwise you'll end up with your own radio station talking shit. You ever been cruising down the main street with your mates only to be laughed at by the gorgeous girls passing you by? Well, maybe you need to get your own ride and leave your mum's Camry at home. Turning your cruising dreams into a reality has never been easier than it is now with Iconic Motorhouse. Regular draws, limited numbers, and access to special and unique deals from over 4,500 popular brands. They don't do Camrys, they only give away real men's cars, eye-catching cars that'll get them purring like a pussycat. So don't be a turkey. Go to iconicmotorhouse.com, choose how many tickets you want, and for a limited time, they'll increase your odds. It's never been easier to win a customised showpiece that will get their attention. iconicmotorhouse.com, giving you the opportunity to fulfill your motoring fantasy.
This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Well, welcome back to the Bad Boys Podcast. And we've got a new section on the show, a new segment on the show, just to wrap things up. It's called Shit My Wife Says. So we're going to try.
How much time have we got for this? Are we going to do this on a weekly basis? Because I think I've got enough material.
I think we should. And we love our wives. We love talking to them. We have a lot of fun as well. I think it's always a good laugh, and
I think that's a sign of a healthy relationship. Isn't
absolutely.
It? You look at Ryan Reynolds and his lovely wife. They're always taking the complete piss out of each other.
Yeah.
And that's what we do around the house. And I know you and Tanya do that all the time. We do.
It was funny the other day. So I admit I love a sleep in, and she loves getting up early, and I'm just like, okay, if you're getting up early, I'll just sleep in a little bit longer. And Sundays, it's a good time to have a good sleep in, so I try to be as quiet as I can, and then I'll look at the phone and be like, oh, is that the time? The other day, it was 7:30, and Tanya piped up and said, "Oh my God, it's 7:30." I said, "Yeah, isn't it good?" And she said, "I don't want to become one of those 7:30 women." I'm trying to figure out what a 7:30 woman looks like.
Oh, what a 7:30 woman is. Oh, that's like the floozy down the street. Oh no, you don't go walking around near her and stuff. She'll lure you into her web. She's one of those 7:30 women.
7:30 women.
One of those floozies that stay in bed late.
And I'm thinking to myself, am I a 7:30 man?
Yeah, look, honestly, I've become not only a 7:30 man, because I never used to sleep in. I always used to get up quite early and stuff like that. But the last couple of years, and I blame coronavirus.
Yeah.
I have got long COVID. I'm long fucking over COVID. And part of the issue, of course, because of COVID and I'm at home all the time and stuff, and, the only way to get through a lockdown is, of course, to spend most of the time drunk. I've been sleeping in a lot more, so I'm getting out of bed at 8 o'clock because I don't have to get up and go to the office because I'm working from home.
Yeah.
And, all the stuff we got going on for Bad Boys, it can wait till 9 or 10 or 11 or whenever we decide to get out of bed. But, I've been enjoying a bit of a sleep in lately, and I think it's good. Michelle's been getting up a little bit early. She doesn't want to become a 7:30 woman. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing my wife's always telling me, and it's usually after something I always say. So usually I let a fart rip. Right?
Yeah,
and it's really loud or it's really stinky and stuff. And she's giving me shit. Oh, that's really stinky. And I would turn to her and say, you know what? There is a woman somewhere in this world that would find that really sexy. Yeah. And what my wife always says every single time, no, Andrew, there is not a woman, not anywhere in the world, would find that even remotely sexy.
I got to admit, I actually agree with her there. It's kind of like the socks and Jesus sandals. I mean, there's absolutely nothing sexy about that either. I mean, seriously, like at what age does it become right for a guy to wear socks and Jesus sandals?
No,
just when no age.
No, it
no age
doesn't.
ever.
Never. Like socks and fucking sliders. Eshays. Yeah. Seriously? Bunch of bloody turkeys.
Exactly.
No, socks. No. Bare feet. Socks and shoes.
Yep.
Socks and sneakers. And even they're those short socks with sneakers. Sandals bare feet. Sliders bare feet. Thongs bare feet. Crocs bare feet.
No, Crocs never. Crocs never. Like, see, you had me until you mentioned Crocs.
Crocs are okay. Crocs are for proper legends, like me.
Right, okay. Yeah, no worries.
Well, I like Crocs. They protect my feet and they keep them smelling fresh and dainty.
Now, make sure you head over to our website, which is official. No, hang on. I'm doing the social media, aren't I?
Yeah, that's right. Fuck
okay.
Me.
Look, I'm really losing the plot. Let me fuck
things up. You just do things properly like you and let me fuck it all up because that's my job.
So make sure you head over to social media, which is official Bad Boys Podcast on Facebook and Instagram.
And of course, go to the website, listen to the music, press play and have an absolute ball. badboysfm.com for all your music. You can listen to all of our old episodes, some of our hot shots, some of the good stuff, and every now and then you'll hear my beautiful voice on the radio.
Hopefully not
showing
singing.
you how to have a good time.
Thanks, guys.
That's a bit of fun.
Press plus or follow to hear more great episodes from the Bad Boys. Or check us out on our social media at Official Bad Boys Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram.
Bad